on my way back to the yard now. I've been busy, so I haven't completed the Super Priority 1 video yet. I've just got to duck and weave and do a couple of things. I'm still recording. I don't know what happened just then. Something just happened with the phone. So I've got to duck and weave and add some fine little tunes. Next up, there's still another, including this video, 3. Three parts. I can make it 4 if I do an individual. Actually, I might. Another 4 parts. I find it better to do it this way instead of just, because there's like 2.5 hours of footage, cutting and whatnot, talking in the background, changing bar and chains. No, that wasn't on film. It was just sitting there looking at the log. I think if you guys are interested, leave a comment in this video. You want me to just bring the camera with me, or you just rather watching the machine in action instead of listening to me and Darcy talk and swap bars and chains. I think all you guys know how to do that, whatnot. Yeah. First, I'm going to call it antique. They're older than vintage, so they're going to be antiques. This one's a big banger. She's 101 or 103 cc, whatever they are. Pioneer 650. I got the saw. Not the winter just gone, last winter. Got it from I got all my vintage, or antiques, if you will, from the same person. Paul T. I'll call it T because we don't exactly know how to pronounce his last name. It's Greek. TZOVLAS. Is it Sovless or Tovless? Is it a silent S or is it a silent T? We don't really know. I haven't really asked him either. I'm not going to babble off all the saws I purchased from Paul. I paid him off on firewood. So I took the saw home with all the rest, put them on the man cave floor, and when I got around to it, each individual saw, some of them I put on shelves. Then when I had time, pulled them down, did a little bit of work on them, find out what the go was. So the story behind the Pioneer is, he got it running. I said, oh, that's good. I was thinking minimal, new crank seals and a carb kit, maybe a fuel line. Took it home. When I eventually picked it up, like I checked compression and all that immediately, like when I got it out of so I had to bring it home in the trailer. When I got it out of the trailer, pulled on the cord, it does need, I think I put 1 friction washer in it. Sorry, notification from the missus. I put 1 friction washer in the starter, Fairbanks Morse. It's got to have the other side done, but 1 was good enough to get it to grab. You can pull on it, it grabs, it pulls nicely, not like the other Pioneer 620 in the previous video. That saw's a different story. that, had a look in the tank, fuel hose was good. Still moved around in the tank, it wasn't stiff, or it wasn't turned to gum or honey, you know, put some fuel in it, pulled it over a couple of times on the choke and it started filling the fuel bowl. About 3 or 4 more pulls, it fired. Took the choke off, it fired, and then it died, like it run and died for a little bit. So I choked it again, pulled on it, maybe 2-3 pulls, fired again, took the choke off. It did the same thing. Eventually, I was wrecked, sweating, shoulder was caning, all that. I let it sit there for a bit. Tried it again, it did the same thing, so then I just put it up, thinking, yeah, it's gonna need a carb kit. I've got genuine Tillotson carb kits, HL. I've got a whole bag of HL Tillotson carb kits, genuine. That old that the mice and the rats have started eating the packaging, but they're away. So I had another spare hour or so. I dedicated to the saw. One day when I got home from work, it was probably a month or 2 after, when I found out Sawfeast was Canadian themed. I was running around getting all the Canadian saws. I've got Pioneers and Canadians and that up to scratch to at least run and make 1 or 2 cuts at Sawfeast. So I pulled down the 650, still had a bit of fuel in it. Put a little bit more in, maybe 400 mils, 500 mil, half a litre, something like that in the tank. Took it outside. I actually removed the bar and chain, made sure all inside there was spick and span and mint and ready to go. I don't know why I turned this way, I should have went the other way because I'm too busy talking. I'm on autopilot back to the plant, but I'm finished, so I'm going to go back to the yard. Took the bar and chain off, the top cover to make sure, check the air cleaner because I never had the top cover off of it. There's the original air filter has come away from the seal, but the seal is still there, and looks like they've made something, or it's the original screen where the flock would have been, and they've put kind of like felt sheets both sides, I believe. I can't remember now. On the air filter, that's the only Pioneer 600 series that I've got with the air filter set up. The 620 had the carb and that was it. There was nothing above it. I don't know what my phone's doing. So a couple of pulls, it was firing. It fired on choke and it kept running on choke for a little bit. Like, got fat, blowing smoke, whatnot. Took the choke off. We sit there and idle for about 30 seconds and it'll start dying down. So I choked it again. I'm watching the fuel bowl. It'll only just get up maybe a third of the way of the fuel bowl. So it's only just let the fuel in the inlet, so it comes up, sucks up, and then goes back down into the hose of the carb. It's only just over the top of that, the inner workings of the fuel bowl. So I did that a few times and it kept dying down. I rev it, I've got enough time to tune it, to sit there and it'll idle all day. I let it run for a bit, get all the old fuel and oil out of the system. Switch it off, let it sit for half an hour to an hour, come back, flick the switch on and try and start it again. I'd have to suck up the fuel into the fuel bowl again. So I thought, oh, well, it's run long enough now to at least make 2 cuts. No worries. So put it all back together. I bought a brand new. I'm using the bar and chain from the 620 that I got with the 620 because the 650 didn't come with the bar and chain. So I did all that. I couldn't make a cut at home to test it out. So I put it in the car, we went up to Sawfeast, and then it was time for the Maple Leaf Challenge, which was just a race between the Canadian built saws, just a down up cut and you're done. But I got it running. Like, I like my saws to warm up a bit. There was maybe 100 metre walk or something from the staging and cutting area at Sawfeast to our tent in my car, so I had to just walk up. Walked up, made sure it had enough fuel, filled up the oil, started it, and I had it idling while I was walking back, giving it enough time to warm up. Then I did a couple of practice cuts in the log on the ground, and I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh, it's off its head. Because I never cut with one prior to Sawfeast. The 620, I could get it to run, but it'd rev like it had an air leak, but I put brand new seals in it. The new crankcase half gasket, made that from scratch. Now I've got the machine, I can actually cut them. I've got a few in stock already. I'm getting off track. So I won the Maple Leaf Challenge, and then me and another guy, Dwayne Dawes is his name, if you come across this video, which you probably will, how's it going? He had a Mobile Co 370, which is the Canadian 270. I think it had a 22 or 24 inch bar, hard nose bar and chain, 404. Wouldn't idle properly, so you had to keep feathering the throttle. We swapped and I beat him, my own saw. It must be technique. Anyhow, here she is. Pioneer 650 in as received condition. I haven't cleaned it. All I did was put fresh fuel in and persevered with the carb, make it soften its own gaskets and that, diaphragms again, by just persevering with sucking in the fresh fuel. It runs like a Swiss watch. Hope you enjoy. Next episode's bigger CC again and older again, only a couple of years, but I know the year of the next one. I don't know the year of my 650 Pioneer, maybe 1960, 61, somewhere in there. I don't know. I think 650 is the last of the line, so it's probably newer again. All the parts on the saw are original to the saw. Enjoy. Hooroo. Oh well, that's off its head. last part. I'm not sure what number it is, actually, probably. Part 7, I reckon it is. I just counted it out in my head. My Solo Rex, 1958 model, Series 2, I believe. I've got a mate. His alias name on Facebook is Chief Solo. Yeah, I'm Chief. That's that. The Solo Rex race at Sawfeast, that's me and Chief Solo. I think I mentioned it in the title. So 19-inch, 404 square file, full house, full chisel chain. It's Carlton, I believe, Carlton or Oregon chain. Same deal. Check the compression before I put it in the trailer. That saw cost me I think I got 2 saws for a trailer load of very good firewood. Red gum, red box. Red and yellow box. It's about, I think he had $350 on it or something like that. Quite expensive for what it is. So what was wrong with the saw when I got it? Only thing is, the clamp that holds the starter on. I took the clamp off, repositioned where the rope comes out, like in the normal position. It doesn't really matter on those, except you don't want to pull it forwards, you've got to pull it backwards. So my OCD, it's got to look mint. It was sort of, so the handle, instead of being level with the middle of the saw, it was kind of down here, and when you pull it, it'd slide around a little bit, and then when you release, like put the rope back down, it'd flop out and hang out probably about that far, so the handle will be hitting on the handle will be touching the ground if you put the saw down on the ground. So I pulled the clamp off, repositioned it, made it look spick and span, put it on the shelf, so I didn't have a bar and chain at the time. It didn't come with one, it was just a power head only. The saw's missing the outer bucking spike that bolts to the clutch cover. And it didn't have the correct exit port on the muffler. The fish gill didn't have the proper plate screwed to the muffler. It had like a homemade plate with holes drilled in it. Thought, okay, no worries. It doesn't have the correct kill switch either. It's the push-pull type. The old whatnot. It could be the correct kill switch. I think I asked Chief Solo that. He said, yeah, they had them on some saws. So okay, no worries. So eventually, when I had the time, like I did with the Pioneer, a spare hour or two, I pulled it down off the shelf, put it on the bench in the man cave. Whatnot. This was after the retension, the recoil. I took a bit of, well, I ground down the inner parts of the clamp, ground it down so the clamp tighter on the starter. Did it back up. I did the start-up video. I think there's a short on that. Solo Rex. Finally added to the collection after, or bucket list saw, or whatever it's titled. After that video, the recoil did the same thing. So I put it on the bench, and then I took the side cover off to have a look at the sprocket, see how much life's left in the sprocket. Then I thought, why? Because I've heard on the grapevine that they come out with a rim drive, so you can put 3/8, 325, change the size of the pitch and the drive of the chain. So I've heard some people race them, they put like 10 tooth sprockets on them and run like a 20-inch bar, something like that. So I checked that, and then I thought, how do you adjust the bar? Like, how do you tighten the chain up on the Solo Rex? There's no chain adjust, there's no chain adjuster on it. So I took a photo and I put it on one of the groups I'm in, and they said, yeah, it's supposed to be there. I've got another case. I've got about two-thirds of the parts to build the automatic oiler version, but the rear handle's broken off it. I need that whole case half so I can attempt to put it together. So I had a look on that one. That one doesn't have the chain adjuster either, so I've got to make, well, another enthusiast mechanic type guy like me, unqualified but jack of all trades, if you know what I mean. He sent me the bucket, which is, there's a bucket of parts which that was in. There was a chain adjuster right at the bottom, so I had to drill the hole because the hole wasn't even there. So it makes me wonder if the saw's ever done any cutting before, or whether it was mounted maybe to an old pump or generator or something. I don't know the history of the saw. So I had to drill the hole for the chain adjuster to go in. Then I had to get the bar plates. Still haven't got the clutch cover falling spikes. I took the clamp off the starter and I squished it. That's solved that problem. I had to put new screws. That didn't sound very good. It sounded like a flat tyre or something. I had to put new screws on the starter, like around the complete cowling. 3/16 brand new button head screws. It was all mint. Then took it to Sawfeast and then brought it home, and then found out there's only 2 screws holding the whole starter cover on. So I've got I'll drill them out, helicoil them, and when I put the starter on, the whole cover on, I'll not welded, Loctite it in place so it doesn't, I don't really need to take it off again. So anyway, that's enough babbling. The saw's got some battle scars. It's grey and blue and with the red flywheel. Something else is red, can't remember, but it's not a Super Rex. It's just a standard 125 cc's, I believe. I haven't measured the bore. So I've had the shroud off the cylinder because I swapped the muffler over with one that's half decent. There was a plate on the other one because it was the holes were flogged out and they've just chucked any old South Tapper in it and whatnot. So I've got another, I've got the original muffler that's off it, plus another one spare, but I only run it every now and then. This is I raced it, I made some test cuts. I think I'll give a couple of other guys a go out there at Sawfeast, and then this time, that's the only times I've run it. Apart from testing the square file, hand filed, or the square ground hand filed chain at home, I still haven't touched the chain. It's a bit battered now because I cut the hardwood on the weekend. And here she is in all the glory. Hope you enjoy. I've got some other antiques to get running, 3 or 4. I'd like to get running to make a cut and at least get the video, because I haven't seen one on YouTube for the specific model I have. The direct drive, yes. The gear drive I haven't. Have a good afternoon. I'll see you on the part 8, maybe tomorrow. Have a good day, Uru. Thanks for watching. Peace.